Here is a detailed summary of Adversity by Francis Bacon, one of his most profound essays that explores the moral and spiritual value of suffering and hardship. Of Adversity by Francis Bacon. Detailed summary. Francis Bacon's essay Of Adversity is a reflective meditation on how human virtue and greatness are best revealed and tested through suffering, challenges, and adverse circumstances. It contrasts the effects of prosperity and adversity on human character, ultimately glorifying adversity as the condition in which true moral strength and spiritual nobility shine brightest. 1. Opening idea: Prosperity versus adversity. Francis Bacon begins by comparing prosperity and adversity in terms of their influence on human life. He writes that prosperity is the blessing of the Old Testament. Adversity is the blessing of the New Testament. This means that in the Old Testament, blessings are measured in material and worldly success, like health, wealth, and happiness. In contrast, the New Testament glorifies suffering and humility, teaching that spiritual greatness arises from trials and not comfort. Thus, prosperity is linked with external blessings, while adversity is associated with inner spiritual growth. 2. The spiritual value of suffering. Francis Bacon asserts that adversity has a spiritual and moral value that prosperity lacks. He refers to Christ's suffering on the cross as the ultimate example, the moment of his great glory and redemption for humanity came through pain, not pleasure. In other words, suffering purifies the soul, bringing human beings closer to divine truth and wisdom. Adversity teaches patience, humility, and endurance, qualities that prosperity rarely cultivates. 3. The true test of virtue. According to Francis Bacon, virtue shines brightest in adversity. In good times, everyone appears noble and virtuous, but in hard times, only the truly strong and righteous remain steadfast. He uses the metaphor of light. Just as a lamp is most visible in darkness, human virtue is most visible in distress. This idea emphasizes that adversity is the true measure of a person's character, courage, and integrity. 4. Historical and biblical examples. Francis Bacon strengthens his argument with religious and historical references. He alludes to Christ's passion, showing how divine glory emerged through suffering. He recalls the early Christian martyrs, whose endurance and faith under persecution became the foundation of the church's moral authority. He suggests that the world's greatest moral lessons have come not from wealth or comfort, but from pain, struggle, and endurance. These examples illustrate Francis Bacon's belief that adversity brings out heroism, sanctity, and moral greatness. 5. The role of adversity in human progress. Francis Bacon further argues that adversity has a transformative power. It develops wisdom, compassion, and a deeper understanding of life. Those who have suffered are better able to emphasize with others' pain and act with greater humanity. He implies that societies and individuals grow stronger through challenges. Adversity refines both moral and intellectual faculties. 6. Prosperity and adversity as complements. Although Francis Bacon praises adversity, he doesn't completely condemn prosperity. He acknowledges that prosperity brings comfort and joy, calling it the blessing of the Old Testament. Yet, he insists that prosperity tends to inflate pride and weaken moral fiber, while adversity strengthens the soul and deepens one's connection with God and truth. Thus, both prosperity and adversity are blessings, but of different kinds, one for the body and the other for the spirit. 7. Concluding reflection. Francis Bacon concludes that adversity is not to be feared, but respected as a teacher of virtue and faith. He suggests that those who endure hardship with courage and wisdom attain a kind of divine nobility. While prosperity makes people admire the individual, adversity makes them revere them. For through suffering, a person attains true spiritual greatness. Central idea. Francis Bacon's Of Adversity teaches that adversity is a divine blessing in disguise. It refines character, strengthens faith, and reveals the true worth of a person. Prosperity may delight the body, but adversity enriches the soul. Key quotes. 1. Prosperity is the blessing of the Old Testament. Adversity is the blessing of the New. 2. Virtue is like precious odors, most fragrant when they are incensed or crushed. 3. Adversity is not without comforts and hopes.